Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today I'm doing a video on pink petal tea cake. A video all about pink petal tea cake, which I'm kind of excited about because it's been like my #1 for a very long time. Rose water meringue kind of have eked it out in the past few years, but it's kind of like neck to neck with rose water meringue and pink petal tea cake. But if you haven't seen the news by now, Life Inside the Page Daily Finds on Instagram posted like an early product photo, basically the product photos that show up online on their website, but she gets them early before they get actually uploaded for sale for us to be able to buy. And it is indeed pink petal tea cake, and it kind of looks like maybe it's a SAS collection would be my best guess, just because it has a square label with colored wax, which usually is more of those like made for sale type of collections rather than a full-blown like seasonal like wraparound label. So I would assume maybe summer SAS is kind of when they do those like throwaway collections and take a little bit more risks with the different fragrances. I don't really care how it comes out, I'm just excited to see it again. And so as you guys know, I'm like pink petal tea cake's like #1 a fan since it came out in 2014. So I want to do just a whole video on pink petal tea cake, a history of it, and just talk about it. So here we go. Obviously, yes, so it is supposed to come out maybe for the summertime is what we're guessing, but it has actually been out since 2014. It's like one of the like most requested fragrances, I feel like, in the BBW community. And I bought it all the way back when it first came out in the White Barn Garden Party collection, as you can see right here. It came out for like Mother's Day of the spring 2014. It had the scroll lid on it. And this one says, tea for two becomes even sweeter with the fragrance of pink petal tea cake made from garden rose petals, freshly baked cake, and vanilla glaze. There were a few other new candles in that collection. There was a garden party fragrance, which was like a nice juicy floral, sort of like fresh spring dewy floral fragrance. A sugarberry spritzer was a new fragrance, but unfortunately that one did not make it wide. I had to pick this one up at the Columbus, Ohio test store, as you can see here. This was sparkling water, sugarberries, and elderflowers. It's kind of like a more berry, floral, watermelon lemonade fragrance. Very much like a sister fragrance to watermelon lemonade, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's sad that it only came out this one time in the test phase and did not make it wide. Let's see, Sundress, I believe, was also new that year as well. We had watermelon lemonade in like a bright pink wax. We also had lilac blossom and then honeysuckle as well. And that was the White Barn Garden Party collection. And yes, so I remember picking this one up, and back then social media wasn't like popping as much as it was now with like Instagram and YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. So no one was really talking about it, but I bought like 3 of them right off the bat. I'll see if I can find like all the footage of when I first hauled it and like maybe inject it in here. And then the third new one is pink petal tea cake, which I was like waiting with like bated breath because I was like, oh my god, this is like the only other new one since sugarberry spritzer is not making it wide. And so I was like, I wonder what like pink petal tea cake is gonna smell like. So I was like just chomping at the bit to get it, and I finally did. And you can see here's one of them. Like the moment I got it, I like lit it, and it was so good, and like to the point, like when I get candles, I usually have them for like at least a year or 6 months. Like it's very rare for me to like burn a candle completely down because I like switch to new candles all the time. I don't like use one and then finish it. Like I put it back in my cabinet. And so it's very rare that I like finish a new candle in such like record time. Like I think I had this for a week and it's already done completely down to the core. And you can see that it burns perfectly down like to the bottom. And so I actually bought 2 more of these because I was so in love with it. I was like, I just need to have like unlimited stock of this, and I'm not even sure if 2 is enough. Like, I haven't been this excited about a Bath & Body Works scent in such a long time. I think Summer Boardwalk and Chocolate Bacon Cupcake and Apple Crumble was the last time where I've bought in so many multiples of it and like burned through so many of them so fast. And like pink petal tea cake is my freaking jam. So here is pink petal tea cake times basically 3. Here are the 2 new ones that I just got. And oh my god, this is so intoxicating. I love it so much. Like, wow. I hate like, because it's just been like such a stream of disappointing candles. Like, oh, it's just either like half baked or it doesn't burn properly or it's unscented. And pink petal tea cake came along and I'm just like so into it. So this reads, tea for two becomes even sweeter with the fragrance of pink petal tea cake made from garden rose petals, freshly baked cake, and vanilla glaze. And this is like a truly brand new scent. Like, and this has totally exceeded my expectations. This is like the perfect blend of floral and bakery all in one. Like, it's so good. But yes, so no one was really talking about it, but I just kept talking about how much I loved it, and I kept buying it and buying it, like polished them off like weekly. I just remember like sitting on the couch in my cabin, and it wasn't the cabin was actually quite small, but I could still really kind of only smell it when I was like sitting right in front of the fireplace where the candle was on. So it wasn't super strong, but I feel like they have kind of like made it stronger as the years gone on. But what does Pink Petal Tea Cake smell like? Oh my god, it's gorgeous. It's like a floral bakery lover's dream. Like floral gourmand or floral bakery is one of my favorite, like it probably is my favorite fragrance category. And this one just like totally like had both rose and cake in it, and I was just like so in love with it. So you get let me actually smell a newer version because that one's a little bit more weak. Yeah, here we go. You get like a kind of like a powdery rose. It kind of smells slightly like air freshener-ish. It's not like a super true blue, like sharp, intense rose, kind of like the rose and tea rose. It's not quite like that. And it's not there. This was before Rosewater and Ivy and all the Rosewater fragrances came out, so it wasn't their Rosewater oil either. It was more just like this powdery puff, like a powder puff, like floral rose fragrance. That wasn't too, like, I don't know, distinctly rose, but still rose enough in like a very general powdery floral way is what the rose comes off in this. But there's heaps of like a strawberry cake note in there and like a creaminess that like overpowers the rose, that even if you don't love rose, I think you might still enjoy this one in the sense that it's almost like a gateway rose fragrance where like there's still heaps of like a vanilla strawberry cake fragrance in there mixed with the rose that I think you can still appreciate it even if you don't love rose fragrances. But there is still definitely like a floral powdery touch in the background there, but that's what I love so much about it. But I actually think I like Rosewater Meringue a little bit more just because that rosewater note is so much stronger, more prominent, but still an awesome, juicy, delicious floral bakery fragrance that I can't rave enough about. It's kind of similar to Strawberry Pound Cake in the sense that Strawberry Pound Cake is also a strawberry cake note, but obviously Strawberry Pound Cake doesn't have the rose floral component in it, so I do like the Pink Petal Tea Cake version better. Also because people do like to contest whether or not there's actually strawberry in the Pink Petal Tea Cake fragrance, I do want to offer you the secondary set of notes that I have from the very official pocket notes, which is what the sales associates used to get back in like when there's a new floor set, so they could refer to all the notes in there. Not only in the Garden Party floor set visual material, there were secondary notes listed for all of the candles. It was super cute, and it did most certainly list strawberry in that floor set. And those notes are actually sheer jasmine, fluffed vanilla, and wild strawberries. I'll put this here in case you want to verify that. So Pink Petal Tea Cake, and then here are the notes here, and wild strawberry is indeed the last note there. So there is indeed a strawberry note. I feel like I always picked up strawberry, even if it didn't say that in there. There is something in here that gives it a berry sweetness to that cake note, and so it's like a strawberry cake mixed with floral rose, and I love it. And that's pretty much what Pink Petal Tea Cake smells like. So the first year it did come out was indeed the 2014 one. It kind of just clearanced out during SAS without too much fanfare, because back then, once again, the candle community wasn't as big as it was now, so stuff didn't spread as much as it did, but I still kept hounding on it, and I would always talk about it, and I would always want, like, if there was one fragrance that I wanted back, it would always be Pink Petal Tea Cake, and that would be the one that I would request all the time. And so it kind of just faded into obscurity. If you got it during clearance, that was the end of it, and that was that. But finally, candle community did get much larger, and then for the few stragglers who did still talk about Pink Petal Tea Cake, I think word kind of caught on, and people were kind of intrigued and curious about it, that people kept still requesting it, the very few of us who were just so in love with it because it was just like a cult favorite. And we finally saw it again in the soft Pink Petal Tea Cake packaging, which is, this is indeed the same fragrance if you ever come across it. This was in that like rip-off Scandinavian collection that they had for Candle Day of 2017. I remember just buying an entire like box or crate of this the moment it came in shipment. I'm like, just give me the whole crate. You don't need to unbox it or anything. This is Rose Petals Fluffy Cake and Orange Essential Oil. This was when they were doing that weird essential oil stuff. This was 2017 and we finally got it. I bought a ton of these. This one, yeah, it performed pretty much the same. It was kind of like sooty, but it didn't dud out kind of like the original one did, but it had white wax on it, but still smells the same. So we did get it in this collection right here as well. And then we finally got it again, I couldn't believe it, in a 2018, was it Candle Day? It was an online exclusive Candle Day release along with Banana Split Milkshake. And this one also says originally launched in 2014, a BBW favorite with pink rose petals, pound cake, and sheer and vanilla glaze. And that's what that looks like right there. And so I did pick up a few of these online as well. This also had a white wax, kind of performed pretty much just like the soft version did, and that's what that looks like. Also smells the same, smells great. So we got it there, and then we finally, again, got it in a full wide release for, this was poured in 2018, but it was for 2019 spring when we got in like the Sweet Shop 2.0 collection, which was snatched. We got banana bundt cake for the first time, all about that BBC. And then we got key lime pie, angel food cupcake was in there, hot fudge sundae, just so many different fragrances. That Sweet Shop collection was really excellent, and I remember getting them all at the test store. And so we have Pink Petal Tea Cake right here, and that's what that looks like with the super cute like photo label. I love this packaging with the pink wax and everything. So pink rose petals, pound cake, and vanilla glaze, and this is what we got for spring 2019. And then I think the only other releases we've got were in hand soap, which I actually have, but I'm too lazy to get right now. And then there's also a one-time wallflower that came out, which wasn't as awesome as I thought it would be. I bought like 5 or 6 of them right off the bat, but I ended up exchanging most of them just because I was just like, it had more of a cheap air freshener quality to it that didn't quite translate as well into a wallflower. But there was a wallflower of it, and then we finally had a single wick with a plain pink label that came out with French baguette for one like random single wick promo day that we had. And I think that was the exhaustive Pink Petal Tea Cake lineup. The one thing that we want so bad, I think I've even done mock-ups for it, was Pink Petal Tea Cake Body Care is what we want. That and Lavender Marshmallow, like please just give those two to us as body care fragrances for a spring release. I would love it. Which I think we got a Pink Petal Tea Cake and Lavender Marshmallow hand soap in that like similar packaging or whatever, but it didn't come out as body care, unfortunately. But yeah, body care Pink Petal Tea Cake is I think the last thing on our wish list for Pink Petal Tea Cake like fanatics. So yes, if I had to say which one burned the strongest, it could just be because this is the newest one, but it's also the only one that had the thick rope-like wicks on it that burned very strong and vicious that I liked. That this one's actually probably the strongest version of all the ones that I have. Obviously the later versions or the earlier versions, they kind of like lose power over the time. So this one, you smell it's actually quite diluted compared to this version, but this is actually probably my favorite burning version because the thick rope-like wicks give it a different performance from the core wicks of all the other ones. So if you're like on Mercari and you're looking for one, this one would be the one I'd recommend. But hopefully and thankfully we won't be able to go on Mercari anymore because we can just get in the store whenever it comes out during SAS. So if you like floral gourmand fragrances, if you like rosewater meringue, or like any rose fragrances in general, or even if you like strawberry pound cake or a sprinkled birthday cake but want a slight floral twist to it, definitely check out Pink Petal Tea Cake when it comes out. Highly recommend it. And then the last thing I want to talk about, just to be exhaustive, was there was a sugared peony petals fragrance that came out in 2015 of spring, which was the year after Pink Petal Tea Cake first came out, and we were all hoping or wishing this would be a repackaged event, and it totally wasn't. And so we do have Sugar Peony Petals, which is very much in the same fragrance family as that. This one is, let's see, treat yourself to a sweet scent of sugared peony petals atop swirls of rich vanilla buttercream. So you can kind of see how, like, if you read those notes, sugared peony petals with rich vanilla buttercream sounds a whole lot like Pink Petal Tea Cake, but it totally isn't. This one I actually am not a huge fan of, even though about like 3 or 4 of. The peony note in this is a little bit more like green and plasticky. It was the same peony petal that came in Tokyo Petals, which was also in that weird like love fragrance at one point as well. That I just didn't care. It kind of smells like cheap hairspray, like hair product, like green plasticky chemical floral mixed with vanilla buttercream. That it's similar to Pink Petal Tea Cake, but not quite as juicy and awesome as the Pink Petal Tea Cake. But a like sibling fragrance nonetheless that I'm still happy to have in my collection. But it was just funny because I distinctly remember when this one first came out, we're all like, oh my god, that's gotta be Pink Petal Tea Cake, right? And it totally wasn't. And it was like a womp womp moment. But it is what it is. So that was Sugar Peony Petals right there. And I think that is the exhaustive Pink Petal Tea Cake roundup. Yeah, I think the only things that I'm missing that I didn't show you were the wallflowers, the 2 hand soaps, the single wick, but the candles are the main thing. So just get excited for it when it comes out for, I'm assuming, summer SAS. Hopefully it's not an online exclusive and it'll be something that we can pick up readily in store, and excited to see what else comes in that collection if we get other like hidden vault treasure gems. So yes, let me know if you've ever burned Pink Petal Tea Cake, what your thoughts are on it. Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.